Hello there, my name is Jacob Artley. Today I will be telling you a story of what can happen when people work together despite having different backgrounds and experiences. Once there were a couple of islands, both of which were inhabited by humans. One of the islands had sandy white beaches, lush green grass, and towering palm trees. The second island was mostly rocky. It was very rocky, though it was very understandable ever since the island had an active volcano on it. Despite the harsh conditions of this island, the soil was so fertile that the berry bushes were the best tasting berries around. Now, both of these civilizations were aware of each other's presence and were friends with one another. These two communities shared resources and had a great respect for each other. Their way of life was peaceful and filled with kindness. For the longest time, the only way to visit the other island was for people to swim across to the other side. This was not a serious issue, since swimming was the skill that the majority of the people from both societies had mastered. However, there were times they were not able to venture between the islands. During certain seasons, sharks would come around in large numbers to hunt. Sharks were not the only dangerous animals that everybody was concerned about, though. There were plenty of stingrays, jellyfish, and fish that had deadly toxins that would swim in between these islands. Wanting to protect the wildlife and themselves, the two communities decided to brainstorm a solution to this problem. And after a while of some serious thought, the Rocky Islanders thought of a great idea. They thought of creating a platform that would float across the water. They would call this platform a raft. When the Rocky Islanders shared this idea with the Lush Green Islanders, they loved the idea. The Lush Green Islanders suggested that they would build these rafts out of some of their palm trees. And when the Rocky Islanders heard this, they rejoiced, knowing that their idea would soon become a reality. However, the Lush Green Islanders realized that the Rocky Islanders would get their rafts, while the Lush Green Islanders themselves would, in a way, be losing resources. For they considered that they are pretty much giving some of their palm trees to the Rocky Islanders, but they would not be getting anything in return. After some consideration, the Green Islanders came up with an arrangement. A request was made for massive boulders to be brought over from the Rocky Island in order to construct a secure fire pit. Since the lush green island was covered in plants, the idea of an uncontrollable fire destroying the entire island was a real concern. The Rocky Islanders paid attention to their friends' concerns and agreed to the deal. Besides, the Rocky Islanders were not going to be missing a few massive boulders anytime soon. They were actually pretty happy to give some of them away. Now, the process to get the boulders across required 2 rafts to complete the job. And after the boulders were delivered, the Rocky Islanders told the Lush Green Islanders that they wanted to just keep one of the rafts. That way, the Lush Green Islanders could have one of their own. With this new method of transportation, more had been accomplished. Not only were the people able to get from island to island safely, supplies were easier to carry as well, which meant that the possibility of building new settlements. Just south of these 2 islands was another island that had not been inhabited yet. This 3rd island was way too far away for anyone to swim to, especially if they were dragging supplies along. Well, that was no longer going to be a problem now with these new rafts. However, all of the islanders decided to make the rafts larger in size and add sails made from palm leaves. Now, the reason why the islanders wanted to enhance the quality of their rafts was to be sure that those who were going to sail across were going to make it there safely and with enough supplies, just in case if this new island had no source of food on it. Once these new and improved rafts were ready, two brave explorers from each island set out to investigate the third island. And they came to find that it was filled with great bounty. There was new fruit called pineapple, multiple trees that covered the many hills, and a pleasant, slender salamander that offered the explorers raft coverage. Some of these new provisions were brought back to show everyone back home what this new island had in store. And as time passed, the islanders inhabited the new island, which is now called Island of Abundance. Life for the islanders had significantly improved. A huge variety of goods and new creations were made, and the rafts were essential in the role of trade. To think that all of this started with two civilizations that respected each other and sought out to build a couple of rafts. There is a verse in the Bible that really goes well with this story. In Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 through 4, it says, "Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." Thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. More videos will be added to the channel as time goes on, so be sure to be on the lookout for those videos as well. May you all have a great day and have a life filled with abundance.